Hey Amy, thanks for sending me your swim video for analysis. Before I did anything, I counted your strokes per 25 and I added it up to your time per 25 to get what's called a SWALF score. The first 25 you took 27 strokes in 25 seconds, and the second 25 you took 28 strokes in 26 seconds. Therefore, your SWALF score on the way down was 52 and on the way back was 54. So I'm going to make the assumption that you probably stay around that 52 to 56 range. Again, that's your swim time per 25 added to your number of strokes that you take per 25. So let's move on to the analysis. First thing I'm looking at is breathing, body balance, rotation, and that also has to do with your kick. It all goes hand in hand. I like the bilateral breathing every fifth stroke. What I'm really going to focus on is this kick. You have a flexed foot. You have it on both feet where you're flexing your foot and it's pointed to the wall. Primarily happens when you breathe. So if you want to stop and pause the video, when you breathe, you can see how your foot flexes. That's a little bit of a balance issue. Could be an ankle flexibility issue, lack of. I know you're a runner, so that could be why. It's also telling me that maybe you're kicking a little bit from the knee down versus kicking from the quad and hip flexor, having your feet stay pointed and moving up and down instead of side to side. Next, I'm looking at phase 1, the recovery phase. Your elbow tends to be bent, but tends to flatten out after entry. It's almost like you're reaching a little bit too far in front of you before you enter the water. Your elbow and hand enter almost at the same time. And where you really want to happen is you want to enter with your fingertips, wrist, and then your elbow. And you want to go a little bit deeper. You want to use your hip rotation to help extend your arm deeper out in front of you. And you want to drive your hip rotation with your underwater catch and push. So as your right arm enters, your left arm is pulling and driving that rotation. As your left arm enters, your right arm is pulling and driving your hip rotation. That's going to help you a lot. So let's jump on the hand entry because I think you're going to get the most bang for your buck when you work on your hand entry with fist and head out of the water drills. That'll really emphasize you entering fingertips, wrist, elbow deeper so you can make it feel like, you want to visualize yourself scraping the bottom of the pool with your fingertips. And also a good visual is trying to reach over a barrel. That's going to help with the hip rotation as well as the catch and push. When you kind of have fine-tuned that hand entry so it's deeper and you work on what's called the high elbow catch, then you're going to be pushing the palm of your hand behind your elbow. You're going to kind of visualize that black line and do your pull over the black line versus pulling wide or crossing over your body. So in summary, one other thing I wanted to mention is when you breathe, you tend to lift your neck a little bit, lift your chin instead of just focusing on rotating to breathe. When and again, the best way to see this is to pause the video when you're at the breathing phase. Primarily happens when you breathe to your left. Also, when you look at the recovery phase, hand entry phase, and underwater catch and pull, pause the video so you can understand what I'm saying. So in summary, I'd like you to start with probably thumb slide drill to really emphasize the high elbow recovery, and you don't try to reach so much in front of you before entry. You want to kind of enter a little bit closer to your head, and you want to enter fingertips, wrist, elbow instead of a flat hand in your elbow like you're doing now. And then that'll help set you up for a deeper catch and pull with fist drill and head out of the water drill. And then when you're pulling, you want to think about using your pull to drive your hip rotation all the way past your hip. Get a more powerful pull, take less strokes. The goal is to be under 25, maybe 22, 23 strokes per length. And that should make that 25 second per 25 feel a lot easier. when you work on your technique, swimming will start to feel easier before you go faster. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me or leave me a voicemail on speakpipe.com/endurance hour, and make it a great day.